On World News Tonight this Thursday, the mass suicide in California. 21 women, 18 men. Members of a cult who believed they would go to heaven on a UFO.
Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us.
And the extraordinary meeting between Martin Luther King's son and the man in prison for Dr. King's murder.
Did you kill my father?
No, I didn't, no.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. It has been some news day, and we're going to begin tonight with the strange suicide of the 39. It's very strange. The 18 men and 21 women whose bodies were found last night just north of San Diego may well have considered that now was the time to leave this world because they had been given the ultimate gift of everlasting life. This story will stretch your imagination before we're finished. Based on what we know, this may be about people who thought it was time to shed their human containers because out there behind the Hale-Bopp comet, there was a UFO waiting to transport them beyond this world to the kingdom of heaven. We have several reports. ABC's Brian Rooney, first of all, standing by in the San Diego suburb of Rancho Santa Fe. Brian, what's the latest?
Peter, all of the bodies are out of the house now. It did take some time. The first officers who went in there yesterday were nearly overcome by fumes, and investigators spent a good deal of the night checking the house to see that it was safe to re-enter. As light broke over this community of mansions and swimming pools, coroner's workers could be seen carrying shrouded bodies out of the house to their vans. They filled 3 trucks with bodies. The investigators had little to say about what they had seen.
Big, luxurious house with a lot of dead human beings there.
Sheriff's deputies released a videotape of the scene inside the house taken by their officers. It shows room after room, body after body. The coroner said the group appeared to use a combination of drugs, alcohol, and plastic bags to kill themselves.
It's commonly known as a mechanism of suicide, some pills and a plastic bag over the head, and it appears that that's going to be what it is.
The bodies were found on beds, cots, and mattresses throughout the house, all on their backs with their hands at their sides. They were dressed in black pants and white shirts.
They were all covered with a purple-colored shroud, covering their face in a triangular shape down the front all across their chest.
People familiar with the group said they called this rented house their temple and described themselves as monks. They had computers in the house and their own internet website called The Higher Source. The group apparently earned their living designing websites, including one for the San Diego Polo Club. A man who knew some members of the group said he last saw them over the weekend.
And I said, "Where are you guys going?" They said, "Well, we can't tell you where we're going." And I said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Well, we're just taking off." I presume they were going camping.
But sheriff's deputies were called yesterday by an unidentified former member of the group who became worried after receiving a videotape. On the tape, members of the Higher Source happily said they were shedding their human containers and that the Hale-Bopp comet was the sign they had been looking for. The man drove to the house with his new employer.
My employee got out and went inside, came back out 10 minutes later and informed me that it in fact had taken place.
And even as the bodies were received at the coroner's office this morning, all of them had already been identified. Apparently they were carrying identification in the pockets of their tunics. And the notification of families has already begun. We're told that one Southern California family has been told they've lost a family member, Peter.
Okay, Brian Rooney in California, thank you very much. We're going to talk in a moment to somebody who's actually had an encounter with this group. The investigators do say that the victims, ages range from 20 to 72. They required visitors to their house to take off their shoes, and they called each other brother and sister. This is all trickling in, as you can imagine. But there are further clues as to who they were and what they believed from a videotape. Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
What little we know of this mysterious group comes from a few clues they left behind, including this videotape made by their alleged leader to recruit new members.
This is a very exciting time for us. Who is us? I'm Doe, for starters.
He invites listeners to join his disciples in evolving to a higher plane by shedding the container of the human body.
Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
He called himself the son of T, a spiritual being who descended to Earth 2,000 years ago to prepare others for their departure for heaven in a spacecraft.
These will not go into houses on some planet like Earth and reproduce and have families and sit and watch television and make scrambled eggs.
In this upscale community where people keep to themselves, neighbors had no inkling of the group's intentions. The owner of the cyber cafe in town says members of the group would come in to eat and to browse. Today, she accessed their website.
You may even find your boarding pass to leave with us during this brief window. And it just gives me chills.
How did they act when they came in?
Normal. Everyday people, typical.
The members of the group apparently chose to live in this affluent community for the same reason other residents do: privacy. And these residents are none too happy about having that privacy shattered in this way. But members of the higher source weren't concerned with appearances, at least not earthly ones.
Our thoughts will be of you. We hope that your thoughts will be of our Father's kingdom. Thank you.
His neighbors may not have shared those thoughts, but at least 39 people did. Judy Muller, ABC News, Rancho Santa Fe, California.
There is in California something called the Christian Research Institute, which monitors a great many of these groups, some of the far-out Christian groups particularly. They believe that this man you've just seen is a man named Marshall Applewhite, who was at one point a patient in a psychiatric hospital and ran into a woman named Bonnie Nettles, who was a nurse at the hospital, and together they are the two founders of this particular group. We're told by the Christian Research Group that Institute that they were once called Bo and Peep before they were called T and Do, and that she died in 1985. We don't know if he died in this particular incident. The members of this group, call them a cult if you will, appear to have been obsessed with secrecy. But we were very lucky today to talk to a man who has spent some time with them. He is Bob Waldrop. He is also a specialist in Bible-based cults, and he went to one of their meetings. What sort of people were they on a one-to-one basis?
Peter, they were very pleasant people. I would say probably in their mid-30s, well-dressed, well-mannered, just attractive people. I could see how they would be very appealing and seemed to be very intellectual in their discussion.
Any sense that they were, I hate to use the cliches, lost people or lonely people?
Not at all, because it was very obvious that they had a total commitment to the group that they were involved in, and therefore that group, typical of the cults, met all of their needs.
Did they strike you as threatening in any way?
Not at all. Not at all. Here again, their message was this: if what we are saying seems to make any sense to you whatsoever, that probably means that you're ready to go to the next level. And you should go with us so that you can receive the instruction that we have from those beings that have come down from the upper level.
Did you pick up at the time anything about this business of a comet or a UFO waiting for them behind the Hale-Bopp comet?
No, their explanation for UFOs or spacecraft were that members of the upper level would sometimes travel in this dimension, and that they would use vehicles or spacecraft, and that would account for UFOs.
Did you take away with you the notion that they were on some kind of journey to the kingdom of heaven?
Well, yes, typical of the cults I did, but by no means did I think that it would lead to what we have before us today.
Well, we said it was strange. When we come back, what the cult members were doing in cyberspace and why this comet was so important to them. And later in the broadcast tonight, for the first time, Martin Luther King's son confronts the man convicted of killing his father. And there's been a possible breakthrough in the bombing of that U.S. barracks in Saudi Arabia, a suspect who may be linked to the attack.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by the new 1997 Pontiac Bonneville.
So then Doris is driving it, and she says, "But Elliot, I can't feel the road." And I said, "But what do you expect? It's a luxury car." Anyway, we then drive it down the road. Have you ever driven that?
Bored with traditional luxury? It could be time for the supercharged Bonneville, one of the world's most powerful sports sedans.
Do you drive a luxury car, Frank?
You bet your ascot I do.
Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
Looking for historically high-performing mutual funds? You'll find lots of them and more right here. Mutual Fund OneSource from Schwab.
600 funds, no loads.
Call for the select list free or get it all online at schwab.com right now. This is investing the way it should be.
What is so unusual about this group is the extent of its involvement with the internet and, of course, its obsession, or apparent obsession, with the comet Hale-Bopp. As we reported, the group earned money by designing web pages on the internet. They also put out quite a lot of information about themselves. ABC's Gina Smith has been looking at their online activities.
Peter, there are two very different sides to this group, and it is totally evident just by looking at the kind of material it's been posting on the internet.
On the one hand, there's this, the homepage on the World Wide Web for The Higher Source, the San Diego firm that ran a profitable business, building websites for companies like the San Diego Polo Club at upwards of $10,000 a site.
Anybody with some engineering background or some web experience can see that what they were doing was state-of-the-art.
As the developer of some of the biggest sites online, Craig Kannerick's web design firm, Razorfish, knows quality sites.
They have some knowledge of security. If you look at the page, you will see that the graphics are moving on the page, that there are interactive elements, that when the user moves the mouse over certain elements, they change color.
But there was the other, bizarre side to this seemingly cutting-edge design team. This site, also created by members, is Heaven's Gate. It describes their apocalyptic vision of what might happen as the result of the Hale-Bopp comet. The site says the comet is the marker they've been waiting for, a visit from a spacecraft, from the so-called level above human. Followers who chose suicide could get eternal life as an alien on a faraway planet. This passage tells how the man who called himself Doe started the movement in 1975, when he, then an alien, inhabited the middle-aged body of a man. 22 years later, a magical number according to cult experts, he and his group plan to return to outer space. Cult watchers say that tens of thousands of cults, from the largest to the most obscure, have staked out sites in cyberspace.
There are a lot of net nerds who are lonely and looking for excitement and for glamour. These kids can, if they do happen into the site, be sucked into it.
As for this group, in a mission statement penned just 2 years ago, members in fact indicated they plan to reach millions through the internet. Well, they've certainly gotten the world's attention now. Peter?
Gina, thank you very much indeed. Let's make a big jump now to the next millennium. The coming millennium is generating a lot of excitement around the globe, not all of it good. For some groups, the year 2000 is the tripwire for the end of the world. Call it apocalyptic anxiety, if you will. It isn't new, of course, but in the age of technology, doomsday has taken on a whole new twist. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
Every night in the eastern sky, Comet Hale-Bopp appears as if it were a new star. It's not the first time a celestial event has been used as a marker of some great transformation. In fact, some scholars think of the Star of Bethlehem, which signaled the birth of Jesus almost exactly 2,000 years ago. As the new millennium approaches, sites like the comet take on added meaning.
People are looking for a new age, a new order of the world. They're looking for transformation. They're looking for the death of one world and the birth of another.
It's much the same as it ever was, but at the end of the 20th century, there are new aspects to it, from the belief in UFOs to a faith in technology.
Technology was their tool, so to speak, to get behind the events of our day and see into the future.
Rick Bauer is an expert both on cults and computers. He says as the calendar races toward the year 2000, a cult can seem very comforting.
It brings certainty in a very uncertain world. It provides salvation in a very insecure world, and so it's very attractive.
There are, of course, parallels to mass deaths of the past. The Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas, saw themselves as preparing for a final battle between good and evil. In Switzerland and Canada, the so-called Solar Temple cult was also waiting for the millennium and the apocalypse it might bring.
In some sense, their millennium is their personal millennium, that they're ending their world and joining a new world.
One stark difference with the California group
is that unlike the Branch Davidians and other cases, there was no confrontation with the outside world. Nobody trying to surround and crush them. No obvious trigger for what happened, except perhaps the millennium and a comet in the east. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
One of those days that reminds us what a strange world we live in. Believe it or not, there is even some scientific news about the Hale-Bopp comet today. A report in the journal Science says that Hale-Bopp is sending out tons of organic chemicals of the type which may have been the building blocks of life. Most of the comet is made of ice, and the chemicals are released as the sun heats it up. There'll be more about all of this suicide, by the way, later this evening on Nightline. And when we come back, we will get to the day's other major news. Dr. Martin Luther King's son to James Earl Ray. Did you kill my father?
These folks live just below the Arctic Circle in Alaska, but their gardens look like a tropical paradise.
Here in Alaska, my hobby is growing world record vegetables like this one, and I use Miracle-Gro and only Miracle-Gro.
When I first moved to Alaska, I thought I'd have to give up gardening, but with Miracle-Gro, my garden's better than ever.
If Miracle-Gro can get results like those in Alaska, just imagine what it can do in your garden. Now give your new transplants a fast start with Miracle-Gro Quick Start.
Grandpa, can I marry you?
Oh, honey, you're so young. I could never keep up with you.
But Mom says that's why you can Dad.
Ensure is the #1 doctor-recommended supplement. It helps you stay healthy, active, energetic. As a snack or occasional meal, it's a source of complete, balanced nutrition.
I'm sure you'll marry someone even more fun than me.
Will you at least come to the wedding?
Sure. I'll be there.
Ensure, the #1 doctor-recommended supplement. Drink to your health.
It's a Honda. It's a Camry. It's a Taurus.
Just when you think you've seen it all, something rolls by that is honestly different, newer, and better.
Wow!
Introducing the all-new Century by Buick. It's the quietest,
I like it.
most spacious, most luxurious Century ever.
You think it comes in leather?
Too bad about that tough headache, hon. I guess we're staying home.
Headache's gone. Took some Tylenol. Extra strength.
It's gone? All gone?
Yeah. You're gonna love the ballet, sweetie.
Bring the Tylenol.
Nothing takes you out of the action faster than a diarrhea medicine that can let you down. But you can count on Imodium AD to stop diarrhea, often in one dose. Take Imodium AD, one dose relief you can count on.
They're punched, spit on. They live like stalkers.
I've seen my mother thrown to the ground by these animals.
But how the heck do they get those pictures? You'll be amazed. Pop goes the paparazzi. Turning Point, tonight at 10, 9 Central.
In Nashville, Tennessee, today there's been an extraordinary meeting between the son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the man who was serving life in prison for Dr. King's murder. It is the first meeting ever between a member of the King family and James Earl Ray. And it was a chance for Dr. King's son to ask directly, did you kill my father? Here's ABC's Mike Von Friend.
Dexter King was only 7 years old when his father was murdered on the balcony of this Memphis motel.
Glad to meet you.
Aaron King. Today, at the age of 36, King, for the first time, was able to both meet James Earl Ray and confront him about what happened that night in Memphis.
I just want to ask you, for the record, did you kill my father?
No, I didn't know. But like I say, sometimes these questions are difficult to answer.
Ray is terminally ill with cirrhosis of the liver and frequently rambled and lost his train of thought. But he appeared alert and attentive at the end of the interview when King told him he accepted his words as the truth.
As awkward as this may seem, I want you to know that I believe you and my family believes you.
Ray confessed to the murder 29 years ago, but after being sentenced to 99 years, he changed his account and said he was innocent. Today, Dexter King was asked what made him believe Ray.
There's something about looking another person in the eyes and asking them a question, but it's only through that process that you yourself can then say, yes, I personally feel this now.
The King family has asked a judge to grant Ray a new trial, saying they do not believe the entire story has been told. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News.
Now in Washington today, an announcement that brings the nation's entire medical community finally onto the same page when it comes to mammograms for women under 50. The National Cancer Institute, as we reported last night, now recommends that women should get the x-rays every 1 or 2 years beginning at 40. And women who are at high risk for breast cancer should consult their doctors about getting screened even earlier. We'll be back with more news in just a moment.
I can't believe we're eating a prune. We are. Sweet, moist, delicious. You're changing our mind. I always do.
California prunes. Let your mouth make your mind up.
You did your job. You did it well. You gave your all and it was swell. And now it's fun time. Fun in sun time. On making whoopee.
The brand new DeVille for the time of your life.
Alan's asthma attack woke me. At 3 a.m., you don't try some unknown brand. You trust Primatene Mist.
It starts to open clogged breathing passages in as fast as 15 seconds.
We take asthma seriously with Primatene Mist.
Fastest type asthma relief without a prescription.
Patty, I got the wrong cheese.
Real Italian meals don't begin
What were you thinking?
without the Parmesan cheese that's always 100% Parmesan. No fillers. Kraft 100% grated Parmesan cheese. Now you can eat.
You love him, don't you? I'm not gonna lie to you. There is no way out for him. FBI's after him. The guys he was doing business with are after him. I'm here to bring him in.
Two worlds collide.
I'm not going back.
This is Brad Pitt's best performance ever. Harrison Ford delivers a tour de force in the most powerful, riveting, exciting thriller of the year.
Don't you touch him!
The Devil's Own. Rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
If you can do this, you can make wood beautiful with Minwax. And if you can do this, you can give wood lasting protection. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
There is news from Canada today about a man suspected of involvement in the bombing attack which killed 19 U.S. airmen in Saudi Arabia last summer. He is a Saudi. He was arrested last week in Ottawa. U.S. officials believe he acted as a lookout for the man who drove the truck carrying the explosives. ABC's Kevin Newman reports from Ottawa.
Canada's spy agency claims the man they have under guard in this detention center is a member of a Saudi terrorist group with links to the Lebanese Hezbollah, an organization which has been backed by Iran. Court documents released today state Hani Abd Rahim Al-Sayeg conducted surveillance at the site of the bombing. On the day of the bombing, he was the driver which signaled the explosive-laden truck to enter the parking lot. Canada's spy agency cites evidence from foreign governments it refuses to make public, claiming a detonator similar to those used in the past by Hezbollah was found near the blast scene. And the documents also name a mastermind behind the explosion, Ahmed Ibrahim Ahmed Al-Muqassil. Al-Sayeg has denied involvement in the blast, telling Canadian newspapers he was not a member of any organization. He claimed to have been in Syria at the time of the blast and admitted he had also lived in Iran as a religious student. The FBI has been frustrated in its attempts to interview suspects the Saudis have detained, which is why they're so keen to talk to Al-Sayeg. And another Saudi dissident the Canadian authorities yesterday accused of terrorism, although the Canadians won't say whether he's connected to the blast. Kevin Newman, ABC News, Ottawa.
In Santa Monica today, the judge in the O.J. Simpson civil trial says he will order Mr. Simpson to turn over more than 100 of his belongings to the court, including his Heisman Trophy and his golf clubs. The families of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman want these things as part of their $33 million civil court award. Judge Fujisaki thinks that the sheriff should take the property, while, in his words, the parties fight it out. Well, there was a substantial sell-off on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrials at one point were down more than 200 points, but they came back a little to close down 140 points at 67.40. On the NASDAQ market, stocks lost more than 19 points. With interest rates going up, many investors apparently were taking their money out of stocks and putting them into bonds. And a quick word from China today about how Vice President Gore is doing. He has been working the stiff joke notion again. It came during a visit to the ancient clay warriors in the Chinese city of Xi'an. When the cameras were finally turned off, Mr. Gore joked, "How can you tell Al Gore from a tomb full of terracotta warriors? He is the stiff one." We'll be back in just a moment.
Were things any easier for him? Was providing for a family simpler back then? Now there's so much information, decisions are tougher. Strange. I grew up not wanting to walk in his footsteps. Now I only wish I could.
Things are more complex. Ask a Merrill Lynch financial consultant who can help with a plan and more ways to make the plan work than anyone else. The difference is planning. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
This Easter, Breyers presents Viennetta. But this delicious ice cream with its crispy chocolatey layers could cause one small problem. One slice is never enough. Make sure you have enough Viennetta for the Easter holiday.
Arthritis pain, it's a part of my life. That's why I keep Advil close by. You see, it stops minor arthritis pain where it starts. Nothing's proven to work better or last longer than Advil. Nothing.
Advanced medicine for pain.
It's a Honda. It's a Camry. It's a Taurus.
Just when you think you've seen it all, something rolls by that is honestly different, newer, and better.
Wow!
Introducing the all-new Century by Buick. It's the quietest,
I like it.
most spacious, most luxurious Century ever.
You think it comes in leather?
Just before our last story tonight, a brief review of the lead. It really is the last story. The mass suicide north of San Diego. 21 women and 18 men, members of a cult who believe that behind the comet Hale-Bopp, apparently a UFO was waiting to take them to heaven. They were going to leave their bodies, as you can see they have done, and had their souls transported on to eternal life. They apparently died in separate groups in this house, some as many as 3 days ago. Many of them had pieces of paper in their pockets containing a suicide recipe, which was pudding mixed with a lethal medicine. Investigators have now identified all of them and are now notifying their families. As we said, it's been a very strange day. That is our report on World News tonight. There will be more on this strange suicide on Nightline. And also later this evening on Turning Point, a unique look at the world of celebrity paparazzi. I'm Peter Jennings. I hope you'll join us tomorrow night. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Kids who learn